I've got the most bullish crypto news for you. The SEC has finally wrapped up the case with Ripple. Ripple does have to pay a fine, so I'll give you the details, but it is completely over and XRP is free. And Blackrock is expanding their tokenized fund BUIDL on Solana, and they have expanded their Bitcoin ETF to Europe. And Custodia Bank has launched the first bank-backed stablecoin on Ethereum. And Google will partner with CME Group to launch tokenization, guys. Huge news. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, huge news coming out in the SEC versus Ripple. It is officially over. We know last week the SEC dropped its appeal in the Ripple case, and now they have come to a full conclusion where Ripple's going to pay a fine of $50 million, so not the $125 million. And Ripple's dropping its cross appeal, and there's going to be a drop in the injunction as well from the judge's ruling. So here's what Stuart Alderati, Ripple's chief legal officer, had to say: the final crossing of T's and dotting of I's, and what should be my last update on SEC versus Ripple ever. Last week, the SEC agreed to drop its appeal without conditions. Ripple has now agreed to drop its cross appeal. The SEC will keep $50 million of the $125 million already in an interest-bearing escrow in cash, with the balance returned to Ripple. The agency will also ask the court to lift the standard injunction that was imposed earlier at the SEC's request, all subject to commission vote, drafting of final documents, and the usual court processes. That's all, folks. Now, as he said, the SEC does have to finalize with their written processing going through that. Now, I think there is a 90% chance, or even a 95% chance, that this gets pushed through, with this small chance of possibly some pushback. But we know Mark Ueda and Hester Peirce outnumber the anti-crypto folks like Caroline Crenshaw and so forth. So I believe this is going to get done. So to recap, guys, the major takeaways: cross appeal dropped by Ripple, injunction to be lifted, and only $50 million to be paid by Ripple. This is what I said going back years. Ripple will have to pay a small fine for things that took place in the early days, but they would win and XRP would get the clarity. Here it is, folks. And this is very big for the adoption of XRP, getting the XRP ETF approved, and just Ripple being able to operate as a business and do what they need to do in the United States. Now, Meta lawman James Murphy weighed in on the news, saying, well, now we know. The delay in resolution of the Ripple case was indeed attributable to Ripple legal team negotiating hard for a much better deal than a simple mutual dismissal of appeals. Now, he highlights the takeaways, but he says this is a great deal for Ripple and explains the delay in resolution. So, guys, that's it. So SEC is not going after Ripple anymore. This whole thing's done. And with the injunction lifted, this means that Ripple can go about business as usual, guys. There's nothing to hold them back here. So this is really great news and a big win. And it certainly sets the precedent for the crypto industry with other cases. But we know the SEC has been dropping cases left and right. They dropped their cases against Coinbase, Kraken, and many others. So huge news. Now, of course, Charles Gasbag Gasparino, the clown himself, went on a rant and started complaining on social media. But I call it out because this guy is a journalist at Fox. He has the platform of mainstream TV to go about telling his lies, but clearly he looks like an idiot. He has egg on his face and he can't admit he's wrong. So he's pathetic, because a real man would say, hey, look, I was wrong about this. Congrats to the Ripple and move on. But he keeps going with his nonsense. So like I said before, clowns will be clowns. Now, the SEC also dropped another case, and that is their case against Immutable. So Immutable is a leading platform for building games on the Ethereum blockchain. Their co-founder, Robbie Ferguson, said the SEC now officially dropped its inquiry into Immutable with no enforcement action to be taken. This is an enormous win for Web3 gaming. After a year of fighting, this threat to digital ownership rights has finally been put to rest. We're excited to build. So guys, we are seeing wins across the board. And as I reported a few days ago, there are rumors that the SEC may provide clarity on NFTs, coming out saying those aren't securities. Now, I'll be at the DC Blockchain Summit tomorrow, which is headed up by the Digital Chamber, and Hester Peirce will be there. I will be doing a quick interview with her, so I'll ask her about the Ripple case and all these things, guys. So tomorrow's going to be a big lineup, and there's like 25 plus members of Congress attending this. So I'll try to get you guys some details. So this is all huge news. Very, very bullish. Now, interesting news coming out of GameStop. So we've been talking about Michael Saylor, talking to different corporations and businesses, and he has been talking to Ryan Cohen, who is the CEO of GameStop, and he tweeted out a photo with him actually today. But the big news is that GameStop is going to buy Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset, and they currently hold $4.7 billion in cash. So guys, as I've been saying for a long time, this trend is going to continue because these companies recognize Bitcoin as digital gold and a reserve asset that can help protect their cash reserves and even grow the value of it. But they're protecting it against inflation and the debasement of currency. And I've been telling you guys, the foundation to all of these assets going up, even the stock market, real estate, precious metals, is global liquidity. Global liquidity rises because of money printing, guys, as they continue to debase the currency. And this is central banks globally, not just the US Fed. But this helps drive global liquidity, and assets are correlated to it. And in fact, today, Trump, he's talking about the debt ceiling. And as I've been saying, harping to you guys about it, as they raise the debt ceiling, they're going to have to go back to quantitative easing, printing money to service the debt. Same story, different cycle, different president. No Democrat or Republican can stop the money printer because this is the fiat currency system. Now, could they eventually change it? It's possible, right? We saw Bretton Woods after World War II. So we'll have to see when and how this changes, but ain't no stopping this train. So that means you want to continue to position yourselves in assets, and especially crypto, because as Paul Tudor Jones said, this is the fastest horse in the race. In the race among assets, real estate, stocks, precious metals, crypto gives you the biggest return. Nothing moves like it. Now, that won't last forever because law of diminishing returns, as more capital and holders come into the market, you won't see as much upside, and likewise, you won't see as much downside. So something to keep in mind. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is VeChain. VeChain is one of the top layer one enterprise blockchains out there. Many enterprises and businesses are building on VeChain, building Web3 and sustainability projects. And guys, some of the great features of the VeChain blockchain includes it's secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. Some of the brands and companies and enterprises working with VeChain include Givenchy, Walmart China, BMW, PwC, one of the top 4 accounting firms, and Boston Consulting Group. So I'm bullish on this project. I've been a VET token holder since 2018, guys, and I've been a long-term holder, and I continue to be bullish on this project. So if you'd like to learn more, go to vchain.org. All right, moving ahead, folks, BlackRock has launched their IBIT Bitcoin ETF in Europe. Larry Fink is not playing around. Larry Fink is not bearish. He is bullish, and he sees what's on the horizon. So it's a land grab among the Wall Street crowd, right? Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, BlackRock, they're all competing. So it's pretty amazing. Eric Balachunas, ETF analyst at Bloomberg, said liquidity plus low fee plus brand name equals powerful anywhere, although Europe is largely immune to hot sauce type ETFs. Will be interesting to see how it fares. Watch this space. I think it's going to do well because there's already clarity in Europe, right, with the EU MiCA regulations. So a big name, as Eric says here, a brand name of BlackRock, the world's wealthiest asset manager, coming in and offering it is huge, guys, huge. So, man, I sit back and I watch all these things play out, and I'm just like, I am so bullish. Yes, in the short term, in the micro, we're going to see volatility. The price is not probably going to pump on this news, right? People get in their minds, oh, positive news. That means it must pump. No, it depends on the market cycle. This is why I keep sharing charts, global liquidity, and much more, so you understand to balance out these things, right? Yes, you need positive news. Yes, you need adoption, but you also need to make sure there's liquidity around and make sure the macro is conducive to asset prices rising, because we saw the tariff fears drove everything down. So people need to learn to understand and see the full picture here. Sometimes they have tunnel vision, and it's usually around a certain narrative. Oh, positive news must pump. Oh, this and that, right? But you got to look at all things together and not be emotional about it. Now, check this out. BlackRock is also expanding its BUIDL tokenized fund on Solana, guys. So huge adoption for Solana. Remember, BlackRock launched on Ethereum, and now they're expanding to Solana. This is huge. And of course, Securitize, the folks who helped them to do this, they tweeted out the news. And I mean, I hope you see what's happening here. This is why I hold Solana, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin in my portfolio. I'm not a maximalist for any coin. I'm diversified. There will be a good amount of winners in this space. Not everything will be a winner, but I'm betting on the big horses here. And if one fails or two fails, I at least have others that can do well. And we are seeing adoption for many of these big blockchains, guys. Huge news here for Solana. Now, Fidelity has filed for a Solana spot ETF with the CBOE. I just reported over the weekend that Fidelity had filed within Delaware for a Solana trust. And I said, look, the ETF is right around the corner, right? And here we go. So the race is on for these altcoin ETFs. And I anticipate BlackRock is going to file for a Solana ETF, and eventually all these guys are going to file for XRP ETFs. We saw Franklin Templeton last week file for an XRP ETF, so they're going to file for all of them. And as I've been saying, it's not even so much the individual ETFs that I'm looking for performance, but rather the basket, the index. Majority of investors will go the route of give me the top 5 or the top 10. They do that with the NASDAQ. They do it with the S&P 500. This is just the nature of your regular investors. And then RIAs, that's an easy way to pitch to clients. Hey, look, you may not understand what the hell XRP or Solana is, but hey, get exposure to this space. Buy the index this way. If one or two don't perform as well, you have a good amount in the basket that will help lift the entire portfolio. If you guys understand what I'm saying here. So very big news. Moving ahead, guys, shout out to Caitlin Long, who I've had on the podcast. She's the founder and CEO of Custodia Bank. Well, Custodia Bank and Vantage Bank have issued America's first bank-issued stablecoin on Ethereum. Incredible stuff. And as I've been saying, it's going to be all the banks that are getting involved, launching custody, stablecoins, and much more. So this is where crypto startups need to make sure they up their game because look, I know you can say Custodia is a crypto bank startup, but remember what Bank of America's CEO just a few weeks ago said, once regulations are in place, they're launching a stablecoin. So BNY Mellon, JP Morgan, all these guys, they're going to go all in. So incredible stuff. I mean, just look at what's happening and look where they're building on Ethereum. So this is why I have ETH in my portfolio, guys. No emotions, no bias here, just what is getting adoption. I'm here to make money, positioning myself in the assets that are getting adoption. Now, look at this. Derivatives trading giant CME Group teams up with US tech giant Google Cloud to test tokenization later this year with plans to launch services in 2026. Guys, my God, I hope you guys see what the hell is happening here. This is the future. As Larry Fink said, tokenization is the future of finance. All these things will be running on blockchain. Google will use blockchain. Amazon will use blockchain. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to use it in every aspect of the business, but blockchain will be integrated, guys, in many ways, because this is the next layer on top of the internet, how we're going to do business together, how we're going to do contracts, transact with each other, send payments, instant settlement, real-time settlement, right, guys? That is what is coming. Please don't miss it. Please don't be distracted by short-term micro price movements. Oh no, the price didn't pump today. Oh no, it's down. You got to look bigger than that. You got to zoom out and understand what the hell is happening here. And these things don't happen overnight. They happen over years. You just got to position yourself. There's a saying, time in the market is better than trying to time the market. This is just massive news. These big giants getting involved. And let me give you some details. CME Group, a major marketplace in derivatives trading for institutions, said it is exploring tokenization as a way to improve capital market efficiency with US tech giant Google Cloud's distributed ledger technology. The two companies plan to start direct tests with market participants later this year and are aiming to launch new services in 2026, according to a Tuesday press release. CME will use Google Cloud's newly introduced Universal Ledger, a programmable private network, to test how digital asset infrastructure can streamline settlement and clearing. Now, it's important to note here, they're using a private network. Now, we've seen a lot of players, IBM and a whole bunch of them, JP Morgan, right, try to use these permissioned private networks. Guess what? It didn't work. They had to go to permissionless network, public networks. Now, don't get me wrong. Even if they use a public blockchain, right? They usually use the private aspect of that public blockchain. Like for example, Avalanche has private subnets. The XRP ledger has side chains that are private. So understand that aspect, but we'll have to wait for the details to see how this will plug in the open market. But this is the future, guys. It's what I've been saying, the token economy, the government, the economy, much more running on blockchain. Now, check this out. World Liberty Financial, Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial, they're launching their own stablecoin. It's called USD1, and it's going to be custodied by BitGo, which is one of the sponsors of my podcast, by the way. And it's interesting. They're launching on Ethereum and Binance's BNB chain, and they plan to expand to other chains eventually. But once again, Ethereum being chosen here along with BNB. So incredible stuff. I didn't even know what to say with this because, I don't really know fully the mission of World Liberty. I'm still waiting to see what they're going to do, but I'm trying to get some folks from there on the podcast to talk about it. But nevertheless, it's interesting. I want to share something with you guys. I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump's meme coin. Like I said, any sitting president, Democrat, Republican, Independent, not a fan. Don't have a meme coin. If he has these side businesses his kids are running and so forth, I'm okay with that, because it is what it is. But what you can do is look at this as an indicator. Where's World Liberty Financial putting its money in, right? What assets are they buying? Because look, I don't want to say it's insider trading, but they're going to know essentially what's going to happen. They know ahead of time. So because they're part of the government. So I'm looking closely at what they're doing. I'm paying attention which assets they're acquiring and much more because I think those can do really well. So do with that information what you will. You can ignore it. Not financial advice, of course, but I would say pay close attention to what they're doing. Now, White House crypto czar David Sachs tweeted out today, big win for crypto. The FDIC is following the US OCC lead in removing reputational risk as a factor in bank supervision. Essentially, they're rolling back Operation Chokepoint 2.0 policies and the unlawful debanking of crypto. So you're seeing a complete change over here from the U.S. government. And we know Elizabeth Warren and her cronies were a big part of Operation Chokepoint 2.0. So guys, the wins are stacking up here. And all this will culminate to higher prices. You just got to be patient. But huge news. I mean, David Sachs literally tweeting out big win for crypto. Need I say more? Now, look at this. eToro, the stock and crypto trading platform. I remember having the founder and CEO, Yoni Asia, on the pod over the years. I'll try to get him back on, but they have filed for an IPO on the NASDAQ as their crypto-related revenue has tripled. So guys, I think we're going to see a lot of crypto companies do IPOs. I think Circle, possibly Ripple, and you got eToro here. You could probably see some other exchanges. I think Kraken. Also, there's rumors that Kraken wants to IPO, and they recently did a huge acquisition of NinjaTrade for like $1.5 billion. So I think that move was to help with their IPO and much more. And in fact, today I recapped all of these news items on X, and it's a long list, right? Incredible stuff. The other thing I saw today was Securitize CEO Carlos Domingo tweeted out that tokenized treasury passed $5 billion yesterday, and BlackRock's BUIDL is the leading asset with more than 34% of the market share. It's only growing, guys. It's incredible what's happening. So folks, that's the news. Just bullish news, right? I hope you're soaking it all in. Incredible stuff. And I'm anticipating we will continue to see new highs this year, and the bull run will continue. As always, have a cash out plan. Know what price points you're taking profits at. If you are planning to take profits, some people are saying, hey, I'm holding for 10 years. It's up to you based on your financial situation. So really important to keep these things in mind. And guys, a great way you can support me and the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. It's on Substack. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my new course at mycryptocourse.com. Expand your crypto knowledge, guys. Knowledge is power. This is a comprehensive course It features expert commentary from founders, CEOs, and institutional investors. No other course offers this. And you pay a one-time fee. You get lifetime access. You go at your own pace. Sure to log in with your friends and family if you want. This thing is packed with value, videos, full text write-ups, downloadable materials, and more. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. And guys, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.